Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 213 of the J Situation Podcast. I'm recording this on May 29th, 2024. How are all you wonderful folks doing? Yeah, sorry for the delay on this podcast episode. I know we usually publish one on Wednesdays, but we were so tied up and busy. And this being a shorter week, this one had to slip. So Thursday it is. Okay. I do think this one is going to be a cool episode because guess what? Listener questions again. Yeah, that's right. 2 episodes in a row. Yeah, I'm going to try to finish this 6th solicitation this time. I'm not 100% sure if we can, but I'm going to give it the old college try and see what we see. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Also, I wanted to give a quick testing and analysis update to you guys on this episode just because I'm excited about it. Also, I did want to complain because it's cathartic. No, just kidding. I won't complain too much. I'll just complain a little bit. The photo that accompanies this episode is an HK Mark 23 with an attached LMT grenade launcher. You're welcome. Yeah. I threw that together for you. I appreciate all of you folks being here with us today to listen. I really do. I would ask, as always, if you do enjoy this podcast, to spread the word. That would be great. You know, you can help normalize the use of suppressed small arms. We can all do that together. So please, if you're on YouTube, like and subscribe. Hit that subscribe button, as it were. No, but really. Podcasts, Spotify, iTunes, whatever you do want to do, spread the word. It is very helpful to the effort, okay? Before we get into today's topics, I would like to give a few words regarding our gracious podcast sponsors that make this show possible. And remember, there are timestamps in the show notes. So if you don't want to listen to me talk about these wonderful companies, click the timestamps to skip to the topic of interest. Because right now, I just want to let you know that this episode is brought to you by Legion Athletics. That's right. Nothing you do, exercise, sports, or anything is worth doing without consistency. You have to do things all the time if you really want to be good at them. Legion Athletics can help with that. They got whey protein, pre-workout, post-workout, vitamins, minerals, all kinds of supplements. Do they have everything you need? Well, no, they don't, but they do have a lot of it. Visit legionathletics.com. There's a link in the show notes. Use code word PEW Science to save 20% off of your first order. And if you keep using that code every time you buy stuff, you'll end up getting 10% off everything forever. So if you need more protein, PEW Science. Need more vitamins? PEW Science. Need to get swole? PEW Science. Use that code at legionathletics.com. Get strong. It's important. This episode is also brought to you by Top Gun Range Houston. They're great folks. If you're in the Houston area, even if you're just passing through, they're worth checking out. They have a 15-lane indoor shooting range, the largest firearm rental fleet in the entire state of Texas. You can rent pistols and rifles and shotguns and machine guns, and now you can rent silencers. That's right. Check out their inventory on their website at topgunrange.com, and you can find them on Instagram at topgunrange. This episode is also brought to you by High-End Armament Technologies out of Oklahoma. What's that you say? You don't want to retire? You just want to spend all your savings now? Robert and his crew can help you with that. Infrared sighting systems, lasers, night vision, thermal optic sighting systems, Knight's Armament stuff, HK stuff, rare stuff, expensive stuff, mostly expensive stuff. Check them out, highendarms.com, at Instagram at highendarms, and they even have a Facebook page, which is, you guessed it, High End Arms. I hope they can help you folks out if you need it, okay? Tell them Jay sent you. This episode is brought to you by Silencer Shop. Oh my goodness, that's correct. You can use their kiosk. You do your fingerprints and photos electronically. You cut down on errors. You simplify your silencer's purchasing process. You get a money-back guarantee, too. That's valuable in this day and age of fast approvals, right? Yeah, what, you buy something, you don't like it? No worries. Silencer Shop will give you your money back. That's a big deal, okay? You don't pay any transfer fees either with Silencer Shop. It's amazing. No paperwork errors, just you and your silencer with no drama. It truly is silencer ownership simplified. And finally, this episode is brought to you by the PEW Science Laboratory. That's right. I'm the technical director of the lab, and in the interest of public education and for my own entertainment, we sponsor this podcast, and we run a public research effort. We do. We continue to attempt to push the silencer industry forward one test at a time. I think it's working. Visit pewscience.com for the suppression rating. It is and continues to be the simplest and most accurate hearing safe rating for suppressed small arms. Our metric is based on true human inner ear response of the entire gunshot from before combustion takes place all the way until all the combustion is gone. PEW Science is the home of the silencer sound standard. We have 7 sections that we have presented on our website. It's the most in-depth and accurate silencer data and analysis in the entire world, all available to the public 24/7 pewscience.com. Okay. And again, like I said before, man, you can support this podcast. You can support PEW Science. You can support all the public testing we do by spreading the word. But you know who the salt of the earth is? The members. By joining with a membership at pewscience.com, you go a long way to helping us do more testing. That's right. And if you don't want a recurring thing and you just want like a flat fee, hey, you can do an annual membership with a discount. You can do that. Or you don't even have to get a membership. You can just throw us a donation at the donate button on the review page or podcast page. Every little bit helps. And you know what? I understand times are tight, and in this crazy economy, you never know what's going on. Something that's free, doesn't cost you anything. Propaganda. Give the podcast a good rating on Spotify or iTunes or wherever you get your podcast. Like and subscribe on YouTube and let folks know that silencers and guns are awesome. 2 topics for you today. Topic 1, listener questions are back. That's right. Thursday. Will we finish the 6th solicitation? Will we surpass the 500 question mark on the podcast? All signs point to definitely maybe. Maybe. Topic 2, testing is difficult. Those that work in various experimental and research fields of engineering and other disciplines understand this. You guys know this firsthand. I don't have to tell you. I just want to tell everyone else. We have to overcome adversity. It's that part is also difficult. I will not lie. Nonetheless, despite these hardships, we are excited to share that some great discoveries are occurring in the PEW Science research pedigree. We are proud of that. We are excited about that. And when the chips are down and stuff's just hard, you got to look at the positive stuff, and that's what I'm doing right now. That's what I like to do. To focus on the positive. Topic 1 at a time of 7 minutes and 31 seconds. Booyah. That's not the longest, not the shortest. Topic 1, listener questions are back. They're back. It's like that one song. What's the song? I'm not going to sing it. You'll make fun of me. We'll finally finish the 6th solicitation today if we really try. I want to try to get past that coveted 500 question milestone, which I think we will. I don't know. I'm excited about it, but it's bittersweet. Because if we finish this solicitation this time, it'll be over. And that's sad because I love the segments, right? I love to do these. You love to do them with me here. But it also means we'll be able to do a new one. So that's freaking awesome, right? And that also means that there's going to be even more questions, which are really cool. And every time we solicit more, they get better. And I think it's because all you folks are getting smarter and more thoughtful. I think that's true, and everything's great. Also, there's always like some fun ones in there that kind of make us laugh, so those are fun too. I always get a kick out of those. So without further ado, let's dive into the spreadsheet here. Hold my pen, I'm going in. Okay. Remember that? You remember that, those days on Reddit, a long time ago where, oh, it's the old Reddit switcheroo. Hold my whatever, I'm going in. And then people would link to another thing. It was crazy. You don't remember that? Last time on listener questions, and by the way, if you're just tuning into this podcast, as the regular folks know, you might not know, if you're looking for listener questions episodes from this podcast, if you go to pewscience.com/podcast, all the episodes are listed, and there are metadata tags below each post. If you click the listener question metadata tag on one of the posts that has one, this episode, all the ones that had listener questions will pop up. And then you can just create a playlist and listen to me babble on for thousands of hours when you mow your lawn. Okay. Last time on listener questions, we left off with question 489, sub-question 75. Are you able to keep the vent tube clean over time? Do some designs fall short for long-term suppression? That's a good question, and I went on to discuss first-hand experience, but also anecdotal experience from others, as well as experience from the manufacturer. Talked about how to clean it, the best ways to clean it, what you have to worry about, what you don't. We talked about some designs falling short for long-term suppression and what that even means and if it's even real. Excuse me. This is a good question. So if you want to tune in to that previous Listener to Questions episode, which was the previous episode of the podcast, go ahead and listen to it. Maybe you'll hear the answer on there. Okay. So on this episode, we'll kick it off with question 490, sub-question 76. Can you give insight into your Beretta 71, like previous or current or future setup? Can height sights? Oh, that's an interesting question. So this later gentleman is asking about the Beretta 71 pistol. It is actually the pistol on pewscience.com. It is on our homepage. It's a pretty picture that we took of that gun with an attached rugged Oculus on the front, just because I thought it was pretty. That's why, that's usually why I post pictures of guns, because I think they're pretty. I like the way they look. I like guns, man. And they're asking, give insight into that gun and previous, current, future setup with it, and do you have sights on it that can see over the silencer? I think that's what you're asking when you say can hide sights. Great question. So I'll tell you, it's some people don't know about this old pistol. The Beretta 71 that I have, it's an import model, and well, I guess they all would be, and because of the Gun Control Act, there's like a points system when you import these old pistols. And because of that system, for whatever reason, they pinned and welded a fake silencer on the threaded barrel. Yeah, so it came in imported with a pinned and welded fake silencer on it for import. So I want to say Century Arms was the importer, I want to say. So when I bought the pistol, and this was like a personal gun from a while back. This was not like, that's not a lab gun, dude. That's like my gun, man. Just like that rugged Oculus on it. Like when I started this company, like that was, dude, all the stuff was my personal stuff. There was no like anything other than my personal stuff. I bought that pistol and I drilled out the pin out of that fake silencer, that fake silencer was literally just a steel tube with a pin and weld. Anyway, I drilled out the pin, removed the fake silencer, and there you go. Now it's a usable 22 host. It is. Now, one thing about those Beretta 71s that come in for import every once in a while, and if you look, you check out those places like Arms Unlimited, Aim Surplus, those places that sell these imported pistols every once in a while when they get batches of them, you can get them. And if you get one of these, you'll find the thread pitch on that barrel is half 20. It's not half 28. Oh, snap. That's right. That sucks, right? So what did I do? Well, I got an adapter for it. Yeah. And the adapter I bought for that particular gun, I think it was like eBay or Gunbroker or something. And dude, it's a really cool adapter. It works really well. It's kind of short, so it's not all gaudy and weird looking. And unfortunately, I learned this, I think, a couple of years back. The gentleman who made those things, he died. I don't remember his name. But I'm sure there's other little adapters out there, and you could probably find someone to make you one. You just got to go half 20 to half 28, and you want to do it as short as possible, and you want to make sure it's concentric and all that good stuff. But yeah, for that. And so you asked about the sights. I can put any silencer I want on that. You asked about the sights. No, it does not have sights that allow you to see over the silencer. Unfortunately not. With pistols like that and a lot of little vintage rimfire pistols, they're sort of close range, shoot through the silencer type things, you know what I'm saying? And you can aim down the silencer itself, and you can probably hit what you're aiming at doing that. Don't expect awesome accuracy because, of course, you don't have sights. You don't have a red dot. You don't have real sights going over this thing. So you have no sight picture. You have no aiming reticle, but you do have your LARPing capabilities, John Wick style. No, that is a problem with the old TOW 22 rimfire host. You can do the point shooting style. You can get pretty good. It's a close range weapon, guys. This is meant for theoretically popping individuals in the noggin, as it were. Yeah, little couch pop. Pew pew. I do like the setup though. You asked me about I think it's pretty great. One thing, if you're looking to get into a Beretta 71, and I like the Beretta 71 because it's a little bit bigger than the Bobcat, just feels a little better, kind of cooler, and kind of just it's kind of exotic, One thing you got to worry about if you're going to get into this platform, not worry about, but something you need to be cognizant of is the magazines. You can buy some aftermarket ones because the factory ones are rare and they're very expensive, so you can buy some aftermarket ones, and the base plate isn't cool steel or whatever metal it is. It's like plastic, so it's like it's a little cheaper looking. But hey, the mags are cheap, and you can still have fun. And chances are, if you buy the gun, it's going to come with a mag, so you do have that one mag that's original. Now, I think if I had to do anything to that gun, because you asked about future setup, I think if I had to do anything to that gun to make it something I shot all the time, I might have it refinished in something durable that wouldn't corrode, maybe. Like I don't know, just to do to me liking to throw my pistols around and not wipe them down all the time. You got to keep in mind, man, this is an old blued Beretta. It's going to rust if you look at it wrong. Those things rust like easy peasy lemon squeezy. So you're going to want to, do something fancy. I remember it was all the rage to get your HKP7s all chrome coated and stuff. Die Hard. Anyway, hope that helps answer that question. And if you want to know anything else, just hit me up, fam. Question 491, sub-question 77. In what magnitude of time regime does FRP reset for traditional designs? Seconds or minutes? Did we already answer this question? I could have sworn we answered this. Let me scroll up. Hold on. Was this a duplicate? Did I transcribe this in duplicate? No. Not recently, at least. I don't see it. Okay. So, no, let's talk about it. I thought I talked about this, recently, but we will talk about it again. Hope I don't... if I repeat myself, maybe you'll learn it. That's fine. Yeah, so this later gentleman is asking, first round pop, the phenomena in a silencer that occurs from cold air being subjected to combustion gases and facilitating extra combustion, being a little louder. And then once that atmosphere in the silencer changes and has less oxygen, less combustion is supported. So subsequent shots might be quieter, depending on the silencer design and the weapon and the ammo and everything like that. And this guy's saying, well, in what magnitude of time regime does it reset? If you shoot a silencer and your first shot is loud because the first round pop, for whatever reason, either the silencer design or just the setup, if that happens, and you know that second shot's going to be quieter, how long can you wait and still have that second shot be quieter and not just loud again? That's what this person's asking. And that's a good question, tell you what. Now, you're asking for traditional designs. For traditional designs, dude, it's on the order of, you said, in what magnitude of time regime? And you use the two magnitudes you gave, or seconds or minutes. I'm going to tell you minutes. It's not seconds. Because again, first round pop has a function of temperature and atmospheric composition. The silencer has to be purged with air and the temperature reduced to not lava hot. And then you'll get your FRP again. So you have a couple of mechanisms working there, right? You got natural diffusion and dispersion. So you're going to get a natural air purge. And so if you have the silencer installed on the weapon still, and the breech is closed, for example, it will take a little bit longer to run out of a devoid atmosphere, if you want to say it like that. The more air circulation you can provide, the faster the air purge, the faster the temperature is going to drop, and the sooner the silencer will be ready to experience FRP again if you want to do that. I've seen people do those things. What do? They take their rifle, they shoot it, they put it on the bench, they open the bolt, or they open the chamber and they put a fan in it to cool it. You can do that, and then you can get your FRP again. I know you're not trying to make FRP happen. You're asking how long you can avoid it, but it's the same principle. Yes. I hope that helps. That's a good question. I think a lot of people wonder that. Okay. Question 492, sub-question 78. Jay, honey, did we really go to the moon? You calling me honey? No, I don't know that anyone but my wife calls me that. Yeah, we definitely did go to the moon, man. We did, dude. Of that, I am sure. Also, planes did, in fact, cause the Twin Towers to fall. Of that, I am sure. Okay, just on record, telling you that happened. Also, the JFK assassination was, in fact, an inside job. Look into it, okay? Question 493, sub-question 79. Thanks for making me laugh, man. You said you wanted to remove the easy lock from your handguns. Why is that? I've enjoyed mine. Oh, man, did I say that? I probably did. Good question. And hey, man, I'm glad you're enjoying that. I'm glad you're enjoying that system. You know, one of the reasons I wanted to take off my carry gun is it becomes cumbersome sometimes for cleaning, which I know it's not a huge deal, but it does become cumbersome. And it really does depend on the gun. Also, I'm kind of a silencer nerd, and I can't use some of the silencers I want to use with it on that gun because those silencers might not use easy lock. Those silencers might not use easy lock pistons. You know? And along that same line of thought, the chances of the easy lock system being updated for gas dynamics for different silencers is slim to none, dude. They're treating that as a thread adapter. They're not treating that as like a tool at all for like actual like shock dynamics trust. Now, if it's working for you, man, that is awesome. Like, I don't think you should necessarily stop using something if it's working for you. Like no reason, dude. It doesn't matter what I do. Now, I will say, and this is public, right? I mean, I am glad that I posted the improvement of cam lock to social media. Like that drawing I posted, I'm glad. I'm glad that feedback ended up being used. I do believe Easy Lock is superior to the cam lock because of the retention and reliability. I don't think anyone that's used both can disagree with that. So I think it's a net positive for people that it exists. Now, just so you guys know, I mean, I know there's some manufacturers listening to this screaming because there are several manufacturers that refuse to warranty things when those mounts are used, and they specifically say do not use these systems with our silencers. They just don't think that it's safe to do. Hey, you know, you say that all day, but you know, then you make a hub mount silencer, and there's like every Tom, Dick, and Harry making a hub mount. It's a can of worms, man. I don't think the people that started that hub stuff, I know we're not talking Easy Lock, but same principle. I don't think the people that started that hub stuff really understood the gravity of what they're going to do. Again, there's mixed feelings, dude. A lot of people love universal mounts. A lot of people hate them. And I think on the consumer side, a lot of people love them more than hate them, and that's why they're supply and demand type of thing or whatever that is. Hope that answers your question, sir. Don't change something just because I do. It might work for you. And if it does, consider still using it. Question 494, sub-question 80. I just built an 11.5-inch mid-length gas AR with a Faxon gunner barrel. That gas port is freaking enormous, 0.109. Oh, wow. I used the SLR Sentry 6 gas block. Having used the Superlative Arm one as well, I think the SLR is better. Would recommend. Regardless of the gargantuan gas port, this thing with the Helios QD was the smoothest shooter ever. I remember transcribing this. He had to fit that question in multiple panels, but he did it, God willing. Good job, sir or ma'am. It's a sir, I remember you. Okay, first of all, for sure, that gas port is huge. The 11.5-inch mid from Faxon. I use those barrels myself. Gas port's big, no doubt. I think they do that so no matter what, the general public who buys it can have it cycle unsuppressed if they build a gun with it, right? Like you don't. So right, what's that going to do? Well, they're going to get less people returning the barrel to them. Sure, that would be my guess, right? Like if I was making a mass market barrel and I didn't have the power to like really advertise it in a technical way, and I was scared that people were going to return it, and, the people would just make the gas port bigger than normal and say adjustable gas block recommended. That way, it's fail safe. It's always going to cycle like unsuppressed. I'm not saying that's what they did. I'm guessing that's why they did it like that. I'm just guessing. Don't get mad. Now, of course, an adjustable gas block or some way to shrink the gas port with that barrel is mandatory, dude, in my opinion. Again, even if you run it unsuppressed, you should shrink that port, in my experience. That's my experience with that barrel. Yes, I know the gas port's large. It's large on purpose. Now, it doesn't mean it's supposed to be large when you operate, though. And all the people are like, oh, I don't like adjustable gas blocks. Then pick something else to restrict the orifice. I don't care what you use, dude. Just because I don't. So-and-so told me that they're not reliable. Dude, okay, G.I. Joe. Now, I'm just getting a hard time, kind of. You talked about the SLR. Man, dude, you're not the only one who's told me that. I should probably get an SLR block to play with. Maybe I'll build a rifle. It's been a minute. Maybe I'll build another rifle. It's been a minute. I've just been so busy. Next, I tell you what, sir, challenge accepted. You say you recommend, I'll take that recommendation, and I will buy an SLR gas block. I will build a rifle. Because I got plenty of barrels around here. I'll build a rifle and use the SLR there. I'll tune it all up. And I will tell you how it goes. You're saying that you're running it with the Helios QD, smoothest shooter ever. Yeah, dude. Actually, that was one of the things that made me fall in love with the 11.5-inch mid was shooting it full auto with the Helios QD. Gotta be one of the best experiences, dude. The 11.5-inch mid with the Helios QD is one of the most fun machine guns in the AR platform that I've ever shot. A lot of people don't like the Helios QD. Okay, well, a lot of people don't shoot machine guns either. So, what are you gonna do? Question 495. Sub-question 81. Why did you make the switch from the P226 to the FN? Oh, you're going to make me talk about guns. So this later gentleman is alluding to the fact that I really, P226 is like my main squeeze, and that I've been using the FN 509 Compact Tactical as a carry gun, which is like a huge departure, right? It's like hammer fire to striker fire, which is like sacrilege. Just kidding. I used to carry an HKP7, so I'm all about striker too in that respect. But FN, yeah, it's like, FN versus SIG. Well, I'll tell you the reason, sir. It's because fanny pack carry. I think that if I had a larger fanny pack that I could in which I could comfortably carry the P226, I would use that. I mean, because remember, the 226 is a full-size handgun, so it's a little bigger than the 509 Compact Tactical, as it were, right? And I do use the extended mag on the Compact Tactical, which, after I bought that gun, they came up with the dang mid-size thing, which is the same length slide, but the longer grip, which I really would have loved instead, because I never use the super tiny mags, because my pinky, I don't like that. I like the whole big things. Anyway, the 226 is bigger than the 509. So that's what keeps the 226 from being my daily carry right now. The cool thing about the FN pistols that is also kind of neat to think about is the silencer-friendly features on them. And it's not only on the gun itself, like the accessories, like the optics mounting, the threaded barrel, the high sights. It's the actual testing that FN does for silencer use with the pistol. It's a pretty reliable pistol when suppressed, in my experience. And anecdotally, you seldom hear about folks having trouble with the 509 series when they suppress them, unlike a lot of Glocks, for example. Now, I'm not saying one is better than the other. Don't turn this into a Glock war. Glock people get very upset. But just kidding. I'm just saying that, okay, look, those anecdotal observations could always be due to people using crazy aftermarket barrels that aren't reliable in their Glocks. And I know that aftermarket accessories and parts for Glocks are a dime a dozen. So people are putting these dang aftermarket barrels in there to trying to suppress their guns because they don't want to find a Glock factory threaded barrel for whatever reason. You know, it used to be Glock factory threaded barrels were rarer than hen's teeth, and you couldn't find the dang things, and that's why people were buying those like lone wolf barrels or whatever they are, and like, oh, how come my pistol's malfunctioning? Never did before. It's like, well, did you use a Glock barrel? Well, no. Well, let's start with that. It's a pistol, dude. It's not going on. That can happen. So I'm not saying this is really a solid conclusion to draw that, oh yeah, the 509, the FN guns are way better than silencers than Glocks. I'm not saying that necessarily, but I'm saying the FN pistols seem to work very well suppressed, and the assumptions as to why are there. Like from FN's testing to anecdotal experience, draw your own conclusions, dude. Try it out. Now, you're talking about 226 and FN. Look, you got to be really careful not to take anything away from SIG here. The 226 is one of the best 9mm combat handgun silencer hosts of all time. There is not one silencer nerd that I know that will disagree with that, dude. If you have shot a 9mm pistol silencer on a SIG P226, you know it's awesome, dude. It's reliable. It's quiet. It's pretty. You know, you would do well to own one, actually, if you're into suppressing 9mm pistols, I think. And it's a joy to use. It's just a little bigger. It's a little bigger, and that's all. Okay? That's literally it. I mean, frankly, I prefer it. It's a hammer. I like hammer-fired guns better than striker-fired guns. I do. I just do. And but I am carrying a striker-fired gun. I am carrying the 509. Okay? All these factors above did lead me to carry the Polymer 509 Compact Tactical. I carry like a compact FNX, right? Do they have those? I don't know. That's the answer. I hope that is informative to you. It makes you think about a little bit of stuff at least. Question 496, sub-question 82. Why whisper pickles so complicated? Me prefer simple. Me too, sir. No, you and me both, man. You and me both. Now, also though, what would be the fun in that? Like, but you know, look, let's be a little more serious. You know what's also complicated? The actual host weapons. Okay, we've been doing some internal research on reciprocating systems, and boy, oh boy, are these not as simple as you would think. When it comes to operator risk, I'm not talking about mechanically. Okay, look, I'm not saying everyone should understand the mechanics and kinematics of weapons, but that's not what we're trying to figure out right now. That t-shirt has been acquired. We're talking about operator risk and the factors associated with those mechanisms. Man, if everything was just a bolt gun, wouldn't that be easier, dude? And you know, that's why we started with bolt guns in the pedigree. And because we wanted to build a large data set for analysis and isolate pure suppression phenomena. And I am glad we did that. I am glad. But that's why. You know, people, I don't like PEW Science because he just has a bolt gun. Okay, Facebook comment. It's like, God, again, the other day, like, I was talking about the Surefire episode. People like went crazy on apparently there's like Facebook groups where people are like nuts on these things. And since then, like that, I've just been getting, I guess people listen to the podcast. Some people emailed me. They're like, dude, look at this Facebook group. And they send me a screenshot. Oh my God, it's crazy. It's crazy out there. You guys get off Facebook. It's not healthy. So you talk about these complicated phenomena. You know, we've been dipping our toes into some really complicated stuff. And the research isn't finished yet. When it is, I think it might be worth taking time to show you guys. Just so what I really want to do, I want folks that are looking to mitigate some of these personnel hazards with weapons to really learn a lot. And you know, I've been talking with one of my university professor colleagues. Actually, he follows PEW Science, and I'm going to speak at this university with him. I was talking with him yesterday about working on some measurement of common things that folks can relate to with impulsive noise hazards. So they can maybe relate to it a little better. Maybe use the suppression rating to quantify some stuff with some high fidelity data to show people, just really as an educational tool. some outside the use of suppressed small arms, more like impulsive noise hazard. That's from general impulsive noise. I think that would be fun. So that's kind of cool. So, you ask, sir, why are whisper pickles so complicated? Why are silencers whisper pickles? Why are silencers so complicated? Well, compressible flow is hard. I don't know. Because they are, dude. Guns are complicated, but no one ever invents new guns. They just keep copying other guns. Silencer's kind of cool because you keep getting new types of silencers. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of copies too, but sometimes you do crazy stuff. Stay tuned for that. Question 497, sub-question 83. How do you decide between different materials for the same suppressor? I swear we've answered this type of question. It's okay. It's okay for people to ask the same type of thing in different ways. I think it's how people learn too. It's a good question, sir. We talked about this a few times. I know we did. It all boils down to the use case and the specific system. So, ask, how do I choose? Well, okay. So, for example, let's just hypotheticals. For example, sometimes titanium's fine for a short barrel 5.56 silencer. Short barrel rifle 5.56 silencer. Other times you might need stainless steel. So, why the difference in choice if it's for the same weapon system? Why would someone pick a titanium silencer for a short barrel 5.56, and why would someone pick a stainless steel silencer for a short barrel 5.56? Well, it's because some silencers are more resistant to erosion and damage due to their configuration or their mount or geometry than other silencers are. And that's independent of material a lot of times, okay? Some silencers can be damaged actually relatively quickly, even if they're made out of Inconel. Did you know that? It's true. It just depends. A rule of thumb is that high abuse should be Inconel or steel, and less severe firing schedules should be titanium or aluminum, or can be titanium or aluminum, okay? It depends. It's not one size fits all, okay? So do your research, ask the manufacturer. You can always ask us too, tech@pewscience.com. That's TECH at pewscience.com. We'll be happy to help you understand, okay? And by the way, if you're waiting for a response from email from us, yes, I know we're behind. I'm sorry. I'm getting to them. Question 498, sub-question 84. AK test host? Standard 16-inch AKM platform? I hear the ODB was designed for this host. Huh. Is that true? Okay, here we go. So look, I know Brandon's guys are busy, like the AK guy, like Brandon Herrera. I know his guys are busy. I know that. But you're gonna need to bug them, dude. We're gonna build an AK host, and I have a parts kit sitting in my office right now. It's been there for a very long time. Go brigade Brandon's guys on social media or something, dude. Zach and Josh, if you're listening, comply. The listeners want AK data. You are holding up their dreams. I'm blaming them, dude. I'm blaming them right now, man. No, it's not all on them. I could just go buy an AK, but that wouldn't be like full AK culture, right? Aren't you guys weird enough to where you have to build it or it's not real or something? I don't know. That sounds like something an AK guy would say. Question 499, sub-question 85. Can you tell I'm getting fatigued? Do you see parallels between... Hold on a second. How are we doing on time? Are we going to be able to do this? 38 minutes in? Oh, shoot. I'm going to have to answer them all. 499, sub-question 85. Do you see parallels between silencer and auto companies? Durability, performance, etc. Okay, one second. Oh my God, I don't know about that, dude. The thing about auto company. The thing about automobiles. What's the deal with cars? No, the thing about automobiles or automobile companies, auto companies, it's the scale of manufacture, dude. Like, it's so incredible. Like, there's so many moving parts, literally. I mean, the systems are so incredibly complex in a car. Silencers, like most silencers have no moving parts at all. I mean, I know some do. Your pistol silencers, and things like once your locking collars and But a lot of silencers don't have any moving parts. So if you're going to compare something, maybe it would be you could compare suppressed weapon systems in general to then you could compare them to like an automobile company model of a car. Like you could look at, like you're saying, you could look at durability and performance and reliability like over the whole spectrum, right? Because they're both systems. You have a suppressed weapon system, you have a car system. So I think comparing a silencer to a car is not useful. I think maybe a muffler on the car you could compare to the silencer, right? Because that's just one component. You understand where I'm getting this? So okay, so let's think. Let's play a game. Okay. What are some parallels we could draw between suppressed weapon systems and cars? I mean, I could have some fun. So, okay. We have like a methed out race car. Like a Miata on nitrous. That would be like a Mark 18 with an RC2. Full auto, right? Runs super fast, handles well, dirty, fun. You don't necessarily want your friends to see you doing it, but it's fun. Right? How about this? Oh my God, was he driving a Miata? No. Was he like running a Mark 18 full auto with his RC2? No way. He was, but he didn't want you to see him. That's just like driving a Miata with nitrous. All gas in the face, dirty, looking like a little kid with coal in their face. You could, here's another thing. You could don't get mad, RC2 fans. Surefire's listening to this like shaking their fist. She's cease and desist. No, just kidding. Please don't sue me. You could take a suppressed HK416 with with the same silencer, and instead of like the Mark 18 with an RC2, you have like a HK416 with an RC2, and so instead of like a methed out nitrous Miata, like LS swap, it's more like the 416 with the RC2 would be like a Dodge Hellcat, right? It's heavy, it's big, it doesn't handle at all. But it's like super fast and loud. Still fun though, right? That's like an HK416. I think I'm insulting HK comparing it to a Dodge. Now, what about an SUV analogy? Yeah, something has a lot of utility. And remember, we're not talking about silencers. We're talking about suppressed weapon systems, right? What's a lot of utility? Okay, it's got to be 300 blackout, right? Because you got supersonic, you got subsonic. That's a lot of utility. I know you don't have to like 300 blackout. This is just an analogy. We're playing a game. But super and subsonic, 300 blackout. Okay, maybe you put like a Hyperion or ODB or something on a bolt gun or an AR with 300 blackout. You get what is that? It's like a 4Runner. It's like a 4Runner. You can do anything with it. Or like a pickup truck. Right? It's like utilitarian. You can do anything with it. Supersonic, you subsonic, you shooting people in the house real quiet. Supersonic, you're shooting a deer. Oh, you're purist. Yeah, you can use the discrete ballistics expanding ammo and shoot a deer with subsonic, but come on, guys. You're hunting with supers, so you kill things and you don't have to like volley your shots. Come on, man. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Yeah. Okay, let's do another one. What about what's the Honda Civic? What's the Honda Civic of the suppressed weapon system world? You talk about I don't know, the common, old, reliable. That's like the suppressed Ruger Mark IV or something, right? It's keeps on going with some silencer. I don't know, dude. It's 22. It's kind of dirty. Maybe that's not the best analogy for a Honda Civic, but yeah. What else could we do? Tesla. What's the Tesla equivalent? It's probably like a stupid wiped silencer on a rifle. Right? It's I'm gonna get in trouble. All right, next question. I'm done with that. Question 500. Sub-question 86. 500th question. This is real. Can decreasing blast chamber size on 5.56 help to improve performance on longer barrels when using a silencer whose performance doesn't scale well in the Mark 18, for example, the RC2? Oh my God. The 500th question is really complicated. Let's read it again in a different way. Can decreasing the size of the blast chamber on a 5.56 silencer help to improve overall sound suppression performance on longer barrels if that silencer's performance doesn't scale well from short to long barrels? Okay, so use the example of an RC2, which we know doesn't have super high performance as the barrel gets longer because probably due to pressure differential in the vents. You're asking if we decrease the blast chamber size, would that help carry that performance to be higher because you have potentially increased pressure due to less expansion? Yeah, I don't know. It's not going to buy you anything except potentially more additive shock reflection and less gas expansion. And I know you're asking if that is going to help. Now, my gut is no, dude. That's my gut. I don't know the answer. I think my gut tells me no. The RC2 just, it's never going to scale as much as other designs, and I don't know that there's any tricks about that. I don't know that they've changed that damn design in ages. Yeah, they did the RC3, but it's not. You know, if you did this in a special way with some fancy mount and to change the blast chamber vent timing, maybe you're talking. Let's think about that. How could you do that with a simple mount change? What would I want to do? I would want to bounce off that reflector like it was owing me money. And I would want to do it lickety split. Shorten the blast chamber. Could I take a 3-prong? Ooh, boy howdy, guess what you could do? I have a no, that won't work. That wouldn't work. It's the damn problem is the mount collar. I was thinking if you cut off cut the tines off the 3-prong, or you welded the tines together. Do that. Report back. I don't know. I'm not going to be able to answer that in the podcast without really thinking about it for a longer time. I'm sorry, I'm not prepared to answer that technically. I don't know the answer. I think the answer is no, but I'm not going to give up. Question 501, sub-question 87. No, pulled the Band-Aid off. We're past 500 like it was nothing. Considering 7.62 by 39 for hunting, have y'all considered adding a 7.62 by 39 bolt action as a test host? I did, and by the way, he said y'all. I did transcribe that as y'all, and I said y'all. He said y'all. Have we considered 7.62 by 39 bolt action as a test host? Yes, we have considered that. But if we test 7.62 by 39, it's going to be AK, dude. Just like I talked about earlier, because there will be riots. I have no doubt there would be actual riots if we tested 7.62 by 39 without an AK and we did a bolt action. Can you imagine the fallout? Oh, PEW Science is testing. Oh my God, I can't believe they're testing 7.62 by 39 on a bolt gun. It's not applicable to any real world scenario. There they go again. They won't stop testing on the Mark 18. Now they're doing. Can you? I don't want to read it. I don't want to hear it. Even if it was a useful test metric, and it taught us all kinds of things about combustion dynamics for an intermediate rifle cartridge that was supersonic, and then we tested the supersonic 300 blackout through the minifix and compared them and contrasted them, even if we did that and it was glorious research, there would be such hate that it would be intolerable. Now, in their defense, I will say, I do agree with these imaginary haters that are real, but I'm talking about the podcast now. I do agree with their point that the data utility of a bolt gun in 7.62 by 39 is way low, and I think AK is better for that because everyone's going to know how loud an AK is, and it's not quiet. That'd be cool. Okay, so I think it's going to be an AK. I'm sorry, you're not going to get bolt gun testing with that, but maybe we'll do supersonic. We have done supersonic 300 blackout. We just haven't published it. Maybe if I show you that, it'll be good for your bolt gun and conservative, and then everything will be fine. Right. Okay. I am going to tell you guys right now, we have now approached the last question in the 6th solicitation. This is a really big deal. Okay, this is question 502. And when I was transcribing these questions, I finished transcribing all the ones from Instagram. And there was one guy. He sent an email. And he's actually a pro member of PEW Science. And I don't want to blow up his spot. His name starts with a T. He's a good guy. Sir, if you're listening to this, thank you for your support over the years. And the reasons I allowed this is he's a pro member of PEW Science, and that's what they do. And he wanted to do this for the podcast. So I'm going to read his question, and then I'm going to answer it to the best of my ability. Okay. His question was, he said, "Good morning." Keep in mind, this is from email. So, "Good morning. Mine was a bit too long for Instagram, so I figured I'd send it via email." Thank you, sir. "With more manufacturers embracing designs focusing on reducing gas to the shooter's face, will the consumer see more centerfire rifle silencers focused on early venting from the blast chamber? If so, will these designs benefit gas-sensitive hosts? For example, the SCAR 17 and the HK 91. Thank you for continued education for consumers. I direct people on a daily basis to the PEW Science website." So nice of you, dude. And it's a great question. I don't know. I just kind of caught me a little bit off guard. It's so nice. So let me repeat the question part. So he's basically saying, with more manufacturers that are trying to like reduce so-called blowback on semi-autos, are consumers going to get more centerfire rifle silencers that are focused on early venting, or is it not just going to be all flow through or something? He's not saying that, but I think that's what he's getting at. And he's like, are these going to benefit hosts that we care about, like that are gas sensitive, like roller guns and like SCAR 17? First of all, sir, good morning to you too. I know it's not the morning. Maybe it's going to be when you listen to this. I want to say I do love that you sent this when you did, because since you asked this question, we have seen technologies released on the market, I think, that show efficacy in exactly the type of regimes you were speaking about. And to your point, I do believe that, yes, they absolutely can benefit gas-sensitive hosts. I mean, this couldn't be more timely and topical, and I love that this is the last question. It's like putting a bow on it. It's so dang great. Man, we've already seen this happen. Look, Cat ODB, that's one for the SCAR 17. That's just one example. There's a lot more. This is focused on early time venting and not necessarily expedient gross flow rate like the Huxworks, like the Flow 762, right? So what's the difference between those two silencers on a SCAR? Well, you're going to get that gas momentum throttle at the end with the ODB. But you still have that high early time flow rate for the reciprocating system not to be influenced by the silencer as much. And is the gun going to get more dirty? Yes. Is it still going to work great? Absolutely, guys. And look, that's just one example. Look at the Liberty Precision Machine Torch. It's a 5.56 silencer. Another great example of a silencer doing this, okay? And what did that do, man? In your whole question, this like manufacturers doing so-and-so, that came directly from Liberty Precision Machines' involvement with PEW Science. They followed the research. They looked at the test data and analysis. They designed a system using basic principles to accomplish what they wanted to do, and they ended up succeeding. So the answer here, I think, is yes. Consumers are going to see that. They will see it, and they are seeing it, and I think they're going to continue to see it. They're going to continue to see more centerfire rifle silencers focused on early venting from the blast chamber, and I do think it's going to benefit gas-sensitive hosts, and it already is. So yes, absolutely. Okay. And to your last statement, sir, you're most welcome. I mean, I recognize your name as one of the early supporters of the effort. I'm thankful for your support. Thank you for sharing the research with people. That's incredibly nice of you. That's awesome. I am glad the information is helpful. I really love doing this podcast for you guys. I say this all the time. I just said it, man. I'm so glad the information is helpful. I don't know how many times I can say that. And so, yeah, guys, we did it. That's this concludes the 6th solicitation of listener questions. There are 88 questions in this one. This question is the 502nd question answered on the podcast for you folks. There's 88 questions in the 6th round here, totaling 502 over all the rounds. What a time to be alive. 502. I didn't think we'd get there so quickly. Here's to the next 500. Cheers. Take a drink of water 1 second. Yeah, when we get to 1,000, maybe we should really celebrate. I think 500 is not important enough. I think 1,000 will be better. Yeah, so now before we do another solicitation for questions, we'll have to figure out where to do it. Now, I'm tempted to keep doing it on Instagram, although Instagram hates us, but it does still work. And hey, man, it worked 500 times, give or take. I mean, mostly, right? I mean, this guy used email, okay. But hey, he's a pro member of PEW Science. I mean, that's literally like, we answer questions from them. Like, I mean, we could answer questions from everyone, but the pro members get first dibs. And so, hey, what? Am I going to deny him? Nah, man. Maybe that's what we should do. Maybe we only make the questions open to pro members of PEW Science. No, I don't want to exclude people. I don't think that's fair. But yeah. Anyway, I'm going to think about it. Okay, we'll think about how we can solicit questions in a cool way. Okay. So I'm of course going to highlight that row. Even though it's the last one. I mean, I highlight the last row and all the other ones, I think. I'm looking at my other tabs. Did I do that? Am I just like a neurotic, crazy person? Yeah, I totally do. I'm highlighting the last row. It's like a good placeholder. Oh my God. Save and close. Oh my God. Bittersweet. Bittersweet, guys. Wow. Okay. Topic 2 at a time of 57 minutes and 9 seconds. Oh man, we spent almost exactly an hour, or exactly 50 minutes on listener questions. Oh, that's a good time. Okay, topic 2. Testing is difficult. I just wanted to vent a little bit, and I didn't want to I don't know. I was thinking about all the people who know what I'm talking about when I talk about testing being difficult. And I don't want to, this is not a sob story. It's just like a lot of people who work in experimental and research fields, like in engineering and other disciplines, you guys understand this stuff, and you understand how hard it is to you want to overcome adversity when the going gets tough, all that stuff, and it's hard. And I was thinking about how to frame it, both, on the podcast, but also, internally, for motivation wise, personal motivation for others, and trying to turn negatives into positives with regard to the things that are really hard to quantify and work on. And I think this first part, I don't know, man, maybe this is just for those test engineers out there. You ever been down and out at the test range? Everything's going wrong. You finally get some tests off, and then you find more problems, and you're like, oh. If you've ever done the Gatorade break with your head in your hands in disgust, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Right? It's you're taking a swig of Gatorade and you're like, oh my God, where did I go wrong? No, seriously though, multiple test days, multiple obstacles, just really challenging stuff going on lately. And when you experience adversity, I think you come out on the other side, you get these lessons, and they make you way better later. At the time, and even shortly after you're done, you're just so angry, and or you can be, you're upset. But later on, and sometimes this applies to life, you get better later, and maybe it's good to be thankful for difficulty in a lot of things you do. But to be honest, dude, I don't feel like that all the time. Like I feel like screaming and I'm not afraid to admit frustration. I do think it's all about what we do after the frustration that defines us, right? Like how strong is your resolve to keep going to make something happen when you really know it needs to. And okay, I know I'm being vague. I know it sounds like a sob story. Enough. I wanted to get that out there and let you know that we're working hard on this stuff. And it's like not all roses all the time. I don't want to like sit here and like on this podcast time after time be like, oh man, this is so great. And it's like the easiest thing ever. And like, oh yeah, it's like everyone should do this. I do want to tell you that there's some really cool things that we've tested, and we've had problems getting it done. And but nonetheless, we're still persevering, and it's paid off. And we have been progressing through a lot of analysis, and I will tell you, there are some humdingers, dude. And I thought, looking back on all this, I thought in 2024 we had seen a lot already. I was like, we had a good run. I was like, yeah, if we don't find anything cool, other things cool to present, this year, I'm fine. Because we've done so much. I'm like, should we coast? No, I'm just kidding. We can never coast. So, we've seen a lot of great stuff. But some things are happening and are making jaws drop. And I'm actually not sure how folks are going to handle some of this, dude. It's like, what is it, mid-year, right? So it's almost June. It's May 29th tonight. We have 12 months in this year. We're about to enter the 6th month. I don't know exactly when we're going to blow your mind again, but it's not going to be too long until that happens. And if we can keep these discoveries into the 3rd and 4th quarter of this year, we're going to need a copium antidote, man. Folks are going to lose their minds. Literally, nobody's going to even guess or see what's coming. It's so out of left field. And that's the cool part to me. Because people are seeing, this is not limited to one company, dude. You guys don't even know. There are things happening, and it's everywhere in the pedigree. And it just makes me happy. And it's continuous. It's blowing my mind continuously. And I have these conversations sometimes with clients, and I'm just like, I have to double check stuff. I'm like, hey, you tell me if you if you're tricking me, right? You tell me, right? They're like, no, dude, we swear. I was like, okay. No, but it's going to be crazy. So I'm not trying to make this like a super serious topic, other than I just want to let you know work is strong. Member testing is also ongoing. We're doing our best here. We really are. And even when things don't work out, even when you guys have to wait longer for stuff because we mess up or whatever, or we learn something that we didn't know before, which tells us we need to do something differently, which is a fancy way of saying messed up and learned something. Even when that happens, I want you to know, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, I'm serious as a heart attack when I say it, I want you to know we're doing our best every single time. Okay? I'm serious. So thank you for believing in this effort. Couldn't do without you guys. If we have the resources, maybe we'll give you some data next week, okay? We took a little break after that Surefire stuff. It was too much, okay? We'll see how this shakes out, okay? So please, stay safe out there, friends. I will talk with you folks again soon. All right, bye.